खोल दे पंख मेरे कहता है परिंदा, अभी और उड़ान बाकी है। ज़मीं नहीं है मंजिल मेरी, अभी पूरा आसमान बाकी है। लहरों की खामोशी को समंदर की बेबसी मत समझ है नादां, जितनी गहराई अंदर है बाहर उतना ही तूफान बाकी है, उतना ही अनुसंधान बाकी है। A very good afternoon to all and a warm welcome to a much awaited Research Excellence Award ceremony. To mark the beginning of this prestigious event, may I request all to rise for the national anthem.
माँ सरस्वती शारदे पूर्ण इस अज्ञान उदद से, पूर्ण इस अज्ञान उदद से वीणा पाणी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे.
Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. Research is what I am doing when I don't know what I am doing. Research says, treat me right and you'll see the light, treat me wrong and you'll be gone. No education system can be complete without a strong research culture. The Research Excellence Award ceremony is a motivational initiative taken by our Honorable VC Sir last year, which now happens annually and has created healthy competitive environment amongst the researchers. This program is held to recognize and celebrate the achievements of our brilliant talents who have made both our university and the society proud. I would take this opportunity to express our hearty thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogesh Singh, for his outstanding leadership and providing a stimulating environment by bringing in these research awards. We are extremely fortunate that the former director NPL, CSIR, a Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar awardee, and an emeritus fellow of IRD Delhi, Professor Vikram Kumar, has kindly accepted our invitation to be the guest of honor for this award ceremony. Sir, we extend a very warm welcome to you. Professor Ashutosh Trivedi, Dean, Industrial Research and Development, and a professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, is on the editorial board of two eminent scholarly international journals, namely Acta Geotechnica and International Journal of Geosynthetics and Ground Engineering. He has supervised a number of PhD scholars along with prestigious consultancy and research projects. He also has 2 patents to his credit in the national phase and 2 PCTs at the World Intellectual Property Organization. May I now request our energetic Dean IRD Sir to welcome one and all present here.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Yogesh Singh, Guest of Honor Professor Vikram Kumar, Professor Samsher, Dean Student Welfare, and Dr. Ruchika Malhotra, Associate Dean Industrial Research and Development, Delhi Technological University. Dear friends, colleagues, friends and fellows of academia, I welcome you all in this Research Excellence Award ceremony of 2019. This research award was conceived by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogesh Singh, in 2016. And there were a marathon series of the meetings that were conducted to explore what can be the possible domain in which we can extend such an award. Extending award for a research paper is a very controversial issue. And this has not been so well addressed worldwide because there are many issues like what should be the criteria on basis of which such an award can be accorded. But there was an immense need. There was a great need, and it is said that any kind of research data is the oil of the modern economy that is driven by the knowledge. So there is a very important saying that appears that the data is the new oil, then the researcher is the new oil well. If data is the new oil, many people interpret that this data has to come from Internet of Things. It can be coming from the data sciences, which can control it well. Then it is also associated with the fourth industrial revolution. Now, from where this kind of data will come? It comes through the researchers. So those countries which are ahead in the research funding, they lead the data sciences, or they can generate such an amount of data which can be really useful for the good of the humanity. Now, we have organized this presentation in the form of what are the different research fundings that are available, that is based on the UNESCO data. What is the impact of research funding on the institutional ranking frameworks? There are so many institutions. Wheresoever they are evolving, they are growing, it is based upon what is the amount of fund that might be available to the researchers. Then, on the basis of that, there are different research policies in the different countries, and therefore there is a requirement of research policy in each of the university. Very recently, we formulated, though the research policy was there in working in this university, we recently formulated and provided a framework from where we can control or we can understand how we should go ahead into the policy or research promotion policy. Then we also analyzed what is the impact of the research promotion policy. Then the impact analysis has been made. Because we started it 3 years earlier, 2017, this kind of homework was made. And 2018, first of all, we started awarding the Research Excellence Award on the initiative by our Vice Chancellor. And thereafter, we try to analyze whether there is an impact or not. Because many people said that there is no requirement of any kind of incentive to the researchers. However, if we look at what is the impact that is in terms of number of research papers that appeared thereafter, after announcement of the award, there can be a significant impact that can be observed from the data that you can look at. And then, what is the research? Finally, why we should do the research? There is a very famous saying from the Aristotle, which has got a confluence of the idea which starts why there should be a research. And finally, we'll come to that saying. So, researchers form an invisible collegium of the natural, or there is a invisible collegium of natural researchers in every university. Why we say invisible? Because we even don't know what my colleague is doing in the next room. So it should also be known to the academia, to the fraternity, who is doing the research and what is that research area in which he is working. We list the thrust areas, but the thrust area does not list who is doing, how qualitative work he is doing in that area. So to put the researcher into the scientific priority, and it should also be ratified and peer reviewed. Unless I claim that I am a good researcher, but who will tell me? Who will tell the rest of the fraternity that he is a good researcher? So this can only be attested, or it can only be ratified by a peer review. And therefore, there is a great importance of the peer review, which cannot be questioned. There is also a requirement, because there is a large number of proliferation in the research journals right now. So there was a requirement to segregate what are the good research journals and what are not so good research journals. Because it is seen many times a very good researcher often contributes to a poor quality journal. So it does degrade his standard. It is not necessary that his standard is that bad, but he himself, in absence of that kind of knowledge, can fall into the trap of publishing a large number of research papers. So our initiative is essentially to emphasize that we should work on qualitative aspect of publishing instead of going for larger number. Now, what is driving our research? We have taken the WOG. WOG means somebody who is a witty person, a old person, a knowledgeable person, but all the three persons to whom we have listed, they are not necessarily old people. They are very young people. First is coming from Kai-Fu Lee. He is Sinovation China, that is the Google China, that is the father of the Google China, which separated out from the Google International and brought a revolution. Very large amount of the data they have collected in themselves, and this has challenged the Google International right now. So he says that artificial intelligence will probably replace 50% of human jobs within 10 years. Similar kind of apprehensions are drawn by many agencies, including McKinsey. They say that the data can be, apprehension is of that order, that it can be 60% to 30%. So it is not exactly very pessimistic side. It is just an optimal reflection that he has given 50% of the people may be jobless if the current scenario goes on, the kind of skills we have got currently. Then Tim Cook, he is CEO of Apple. He says that you don't need a college degree to succeed, as 50% of the Apple hires did not had one. Is it not very alarming? It is an apprehension towards the universities, whether our degrees remain valuable or not. Then third, it is from a great guru, modern times guru. Sadhguru says that your education and scholarship will become absolutely meaningless in next 5 to 15 years. And all this appeared in past 3 months. So after we started our Research Excellence Award, this all appeared. So what kind of apprehension we have? They all talk about the rest of the 50%. And the rest of 50%, remember, it is these 170 people whom we have selected for the research award. These people do not need college degrees, but they will remain relevant to the society, they will relevant to the job market because they are the oil wells. That is the new oil, and therefore they are the oil wells. So there is a great value right now we associate it with this. There are so many ranking systems in the world which rank the universities. And the magnitude of the importance they have given to research, it is of the order of 50 to 70%. So researchers are one of the most valuable assets of the university. So on this occasion, we again salute the researchers of Delhi Technological University. Now you look at the data, international, this is UNESCO data that talks about what is the magnitude of research funding around the world. You see that United States of America, followed by China, Japan, Germany, UK, France, then India and Brazil appear. It talks about that they are leaders because of the magnitude of funding. This idea need not to remain in Delhi Technological University. This idea must flow beyond it because the Vice Chancellor has to talk to the Chancellor, and Chancellor has to communicate it to the national policy makers that unless you fund the research, unless you fund the data, you are not going to survive in the current market. India is going to trail. And if you have to remain on the war front with the rest of the world, your data sciences, your research scholars must be empowered to do the research. So this data is not limited. You see that what is the percentage of GDP different countries are spending. Japan, Germany, United States, France, China, UK, Brazil, and India. India has got less than 1. So you can see that where we have to go. If it is going to the order, you may see that China, not only Singapore, Hong Kong, they are not placed in this list. Taipei is also not placed in this list because they are small nation states. We have kept populous states. We have kept those states which are having a great credibility in the research and sponsoring the research. Now we have got what is the number of people who are involved in research. You can see that the bottom line, number of people that are involved into the research per million people. And bottom side of this is India has got one of the lowest percentage of the people. And this kind of data is drawn along with the magnitude of expenditure in R&D as percentage of GDP. So here also, there is a very significant scope of the development and growth if we are going to fund the research. Now, we come why we started. This is another side, that is the business side, and why we started in Delhi Technological University. It was a fresh initiative, and for the fresh initiative, we needed to look at what was the scientific publishing when we started it, what are the most credible scientific publishing, and we go back to the 7th March 1665 when the philosophical transaction was started. They started publishing. It was done by Royal Society. And Royal Society remained in lead. In 1665, some scientific societies started. And later on, in 1825 to 1850, this was the time of Industrial Revolution, many engineering societies started. And first engineering society, it was ICE, Institution of Civil Engineers, London. It was started in 1830 and conceived around 1835, etc. And thereafter, IMechE and American Society of Civil Engineers in 1858, which was later 1854. Later on, it was converted American Society of Mechanical Engineers. It is split into American Society of Electrical Engineers, IEE. And then IEEE appeared. So all this development took place in 18th century, which was the period for the great industrial revolution. Right now we are talking about the 4th industrial revolution, which is going to make the data sciences and research sciences on the top of it. So this is one of the ranking system, Sigmago institutional ranking. Your top world ranking institutions are placed along with the ranking of some of the Indian institutions. The beauty of this ranking system is that it does not require you to fill the data. They pick up directly from the internet what is the credibility of that institution, what are the kind of downloads are associated, what their faculty is doing, whether they are doing it credibly or they are just making certain kind of claims. So this institutional ranking, you see, some of the great competitors are not necessarily the universities. They are Facebook, Google, Microsoft. And there are two big societies, Chinese Academy of Sciences, which has very recently forced CNRS France to the second position by using the power of money and power of the research. They are the biggest agglomerate of scientific community which is collected at one place to impress upon the world that really China goes at number one. And that is how everyone is listening their voices. There is also very interesting that Germany also appears and France also appears, but UK incidentally does not appear into it. Because we see that the research funding in UK has gone down compared to what it was in last 20 or 30 years. Now, we have got Delhi Technological University started a research policy, and the research policy is intended to promote the research, innovation, intellectual capital, and to ensure integrity, quality, and ethics in research. You may find the reflection of this research policy in many aspects of the working of this university. Now, what were the challenges when we started this program, and it is under continuous review? We don't shirk from this statement that we would like people to comment upon it, to make criticism about it, and then only we improve upon this kind of system. That is, the various challenges that we faced. It was high impact, whether we should go for high impact journal or low impact journal. Then high impact or impact factor, should it be impact factor? Should it be H index? Or should it be subject normalized impact of the paper of individual author? Because there is a lot of certain areas, you see the very high H index, certain areas you may not find because that is a recent area. There are very less number of journals, but that can be an upcoming area where a lot of potential is there. So SNIP is coming as one of the most important indexes that future may see. Then old journal versus new journal, society-based journal versus business model, article processing charges versus open access charges, then open access journal versus subscription-based journals or hybrid model journals. These were some of the challenges we faced, and later on we tried to sort it out in the form of certain recommendation of that committee. Now, we started this particular aspect that whether we should award all the authors or we should go by the first and corresponding author. And it was journal research data tells us that there is a possibility that gift author and ghost author and dummy authors may occupy a space as high as 85%. So in that order, to eliminate this particular kind of error that might be introduced into this kind of criteria, we tried to reduce this by means of giving importance to the corresponding and first author. Those papers which are on high-ranking journals, we don't say that they are occupied by the last three categories that we have listed over here, and we wish to acknowledge their contribution. The research data that was compiled, and we are continuously upgrading our list on this research data that was based upon certain keywords, that is DCE and Delhi Technological University. And total number of publishing houses, there were 38. Societies we considered, that is 23. Number of publication houses, publishing groups and houses, they were separated, 15. And total number of papers that we viewed at that time, that was 959. And this is the data that we obtained, on the basis of which we made this kind of selection. I'm just skipping these slides. And then we sorted it out that there should be first category. We decided first category. This is the total percentage of the publications in different category according to this corpus. So the first category that was decided to it was, what was that award? Outstanding Research Award. And it has got a that is, there are three journals or three houses we identified. One is Nature, that belongs to science, and another is Business, one journal from the business. Because sciences and business take a lead ahead of engineering and technology. If there is no business and there is no science involved in it, technology does not stand on the pedestal and importance that they have got. So, second award is for the business, that is houses or publishing houses like American Society of Mechanical Engineers, IMechE, that is Institution of Mechanical Engineers, IEEE, IEEE, all these kind of slotted along with the Premier Research Award. And third one is Commendable Research Award, where we listed business model, particularly like Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, all these kind of business contributions were kept in the third order. Though the quality of the Commendable Research Award essentially does not trail anywhere from the number 1 and number 2. We don't want to make this kind of assertion or comment. But we wanted to give certain impetus to those locations where there is a research without a business. So these are some of the publications. They were identified in the year-wise. We have drawn some plots, how we are going up. It is the citation data from 2013 to 2018 and the citation. All standard citations that are appearing, that is, data has been captured from its corpus. And these are some of the, that is the criteria, that is, we kept it there. That is impact factor 1 to 30. And why it was kept, I just explained it. And then 1 to 5, if not listed, if it is more than 5, then of course it falls to the criteria or it is selected for the award. So you can see that we tried to make justice as far as possible. Then these are a list of some of the journals that appear in our 3 lists. So this is the impact analysis. This is one important aspect I would like to tell you. IEEE publishes very large number of journals. It is around 600 journals IEEE publishes. And we could not club it together in one segment that is from a publishing society. So we divided it into 2. We found out what is the average impact of the journal. What is the maximum value was around 14, 15 or something like that. Medium was, that is the mean of this value was coming 3.4 or 3.5. So less than mean, 3 impact factor and above, we kept it for a Premier Research Award, and rest of them are placed into the Commendable Research Award. Again, many good papers appear in that particular journal, which is listed in Commendable Research Award, which may not be in any case rated to be less than that of the Premier, and that is of the Outstanding Research Award. So next is, this is the data outcome of the Research Excellence Award. You can have a look on it. Total number of nominations received in 2017 and 18, 145 and 165. So there is not such a significant jump in the nominations, but it is still there. Total number of paper eligible for the award last year were 82. This year it is 117. It is a very strong vector. Then the first and corresponding authors that were identified last year, it was 32. This year it is 70. And total eligible for the cash award, last year it was 82. This year it is 107. Now, this is, we have analyzed it for 2017 and 18. Those people who have been in 2017, number of professor 9, this year it is 14. And associate professor 4, now it is 16, 4 times. Assistant professor, they remain on the same pace, that is 19 versus 19. And faculty, other than the corresponding author, it was, last year it was 11, this year it is 24. There is a very significant, again, a student scholars. There was an amendment in the rule, and we invited student scholars also to participate in this Research Excellence Award. They can apply, they can get it. And the outcome is that very significant number, 79, they are coming from the student scholars. University has taken various initiatives to promote the research scholar, student scholarships, research project, minor research project at the level of even curriculum, so that they can bring out the research, or they can uplift the level of the research or number of publications in reputed areas. Now, this is the publication detail. The publication 2017 and 18, this is the comparison. Publishing having single author, it is a very important domain that is often ignored. 17 it was 1, 18 it is 4 times increase this time. Publication having 2 authors, 32, this time it is 48. Having 3 authors, 25 to 45. Multiple authors, 24, now it is reduced. So this is a big impact over here also. And female authors. We have a great history of women empowerment. Delhi Technological University probably, if I am not wrong, had first women vice chancellor, pro vice chancellor. Is it correct, sir? First pro vice chancellor, women pro vice chancellor was Delhi Technological University and nowhere else in Delhi. Pro vice chancellor. Pro vice chancellor. Okay, so I may be corrected. There are 2 now. It is number 2. So you see that there is an increase. Female authors 10 last time, it is 25. So they are more tempted by the money. Notice, not that they are tempted, I would say they are more tempted by making this kind of publicity to publish in great journals. So I again change my stand on it. So single author publication, I have listed the authors and some of the authors who have got more than 1 publication in the premier category who are sitting on the first row of this thing. Research award. Now we have got publication data. Both years we have got what is the publication, number of publication from applied chemistry, applied mathematics, applied physics, biotechnology. And you see that there is a very strong vector for the increase, or there is an incremental increase is very strong slope is visible. And you see that the applied physics has got one of the largest number, 40. It also tells us that it is a strong science-based university. Because science, we did a little bit of, because we could not comprehend engineering and technology together in one slide, we did a little politics. We separated science in one segment, another is coming for engineering. Now in this, it appears that one of the engineering department is again on the top. There it was physics in sciences, and because there was a lot of complaint from many engineering colleagues, you don't give importance to engineering categories. Engineering categories are appearing to be. So what kind of politics we did? We separated these 2 domains and projected this data to show that in engineering departments, electrical engineering is on the top. So some of the departments from where we don't get this much, we want to encourage them. We want to ask these people that why not to compete with the rest of the department? They are your peers, and we must appear on the same foot and the same pedestal where they stand. So the coming years, we would see that the margin or the gap is still smaller. So this is half references. I have written it half references because many of the references are not captured in one slide. And it is, we have captured the data from Vice Chancellor's presentation, first court meeting, March 2019. UNESCO Institute of Statistics, how much different countries spend on R&D, Scopus, and then artificial intelligence, superpowers, and Sadhguru 2.0. It is now a mathematical term, as Sadhguru has become 2.0. Earlier he was 1.0. So coming times he can become 10.0 also. So acknowledgements are due to Research Award Committee, Scrutiny Committee members, University Central Library, Engineering Cell, Vice Chancellor's Office, Registrar Office, Associate Dean IRD, DR IRD, Aarti Printers IRD Office, award recipients, and invisible collegium of the silent researchers. And last but not the least, what Aristotle said, all things in the nature, there is something of the marvelous. And that puts that person into the scientific priority, peer review, and inquiry. And this is very important. The same set of the words we have kept at the top of our research policy. So thank you very much for listening me patiently. Thank you very much.